you here in the audience ever gotten out of bed one day and had the burning desire to travel the world? And I'm not just talking about travel to the beautiful cities and the countrysides. Have any of you ever wanted to travel to the very edges of the world? None of us may have had a moment of awakening this bizarre, but Jimmy Nelson has. He was a photographer and an artist, but he hadn't been feeling like one. Not like an artist who had given his all to his world. Not like an artist who had fulfilled his destiny. Well, one day, he had a rather fantastic idea. He wanted to go all around the world and photograph the most beautiful people in the most beautiful places on the planet, and really put them on a pedestal in a way that they had never been seen before. He wanted to capture beauty in his pictures. And when he was deciding which groups of people he wanted to photograph, he said something about the construct of beauty that really stuck with me. He said, "I think beauty matters. We spend the whole of our existence revolving around beauty. Beautiful places, beautiful things, and ultimately beautiful people. It holds a great deal of significance. But really, do I have to go around the world photographing women between the ages of 25 and 30? Is that what beauty is going to be? Is anything else completely irrelevant?" He decided that it wouldn't be. He decided that he was going to show us that beauty is not restricted to a certain age or gender or race of people. And so, to prove his point, Jimmy Nelson went to Chukotka. Now, I don't think anyone here has ever heard of Chukotka, but it's basically the furthest habitable spot on the planet. It's a 13-hour flight from Moscow, and then when you get there, you have to continue to travel on the ice. So Jimmy Nelson traveled for a whole month, a cold, difficult month, because he was looking for a tribe of people called the Chukchis. Now, the Chukchis are sort of the last authentic Eskimos of the world, and he believed them to be some of the most visually appealing people on the planet. And so he was determined to find them and capture them in his pictures. But when he finally got to them, they refused to let him photograph them. They told him that he couldn't photograph them because he didn't truly understand them. He couldn't put them on a pedestal in the way that he intended because he didn't understand their cultures and their values. And so he spent 2 weeks with them, observing the way they interacted with each other. And what he found was that they had this amazing respect for each other, right from their youth to their middle and old age. Even the little children had responsibilities to the others that they honored. Now, just think about this. In our modern community, children are so shielded and protected from responsibility. But here, they have as important a role as any other member to play. I mean, the children take the elders of the tribes to the toilet because they're infirm, and they have to chew the meat because none of the adults have any teeth. You see how there's no judgment among these people. They have this fantastic community of respect, and that's what truly makes them beautiful. And the result of this kind of a community is one where everyone is cared for and where everyone feels like they belong. Can the same be seen in our world? Just think about this. In today's world, who do we respect? We respect those individuals who we see accomplishing their goals all on their own, because nothing else is seen as good enough. We become so afraid to feel weak and so afraid to be vulnerable in front of other people that we start to focus on ourselves and how to carry around our own emotional baggage, and we ignore everybody else's. No one, not one of us, can truly make it in life on our own. And even if we can we truly be happy that way, bearing the weight of all our strengths and our weaknesses, all by ourselves? The reason I'm here today is because I believe there's something that you and I can learn from these people that we may never meet in our entire lives, people who to this day remain uncontacted by modern civilization. They have so much to share with us, something so important, because the values that they hold on to and the way they lead their lives, they are nothing like ours. These are people who know what it's like to put others before themselves like it's their first nature. They share their lives, their goals, everything that they are and have with their family. Well, their large, extended family. And these are the people who truly honor the generations of people who came before them. And they resist the corruption of their beliefs with modern technology. Every one of these tribes, every one of these cultures, they have something important to share with us. And I'd like to tell you about some of these tribes today and what they stand for. So, in the harsh, barren deserts of Vietnam, you have the Himba people. The Himba people are believed to be some of the most beautiful people on earth because they are known for covering their skin with this reddish-brown mixture called ujjitse. And they do this to symbolize their gratitude to the earth around them and all the resources and life that come from it. And then you have the Huli Wigman. These are supposed to be some of the most aesthetically pleasing, proud people on the planet. But what makes them truly extraordinary are their rituals. As the men of this tribe come of age, they begin to shave their heads. And they do this every day. And what they do with this hair is they fashion it into a creation, I guess you could call it, a wig. And they wear it with so much pride. It's a culmination of who they are as a person. They spend their entire lives creating and recreating these wigs, just like the way we reinvent our personalities as we go through life. And then, in the very next valley, in the same region, you have an entirely different tribe called the Kalam tribe. They speak a different language and have a whole other set of traditions and customs. The men of this tribe, they fashion this turban for themselves out of these little emerald green scarabs that they find around their valley. There are about 5,000 to 6,000 scarabs in every one of their turbans. And they put so much effort into making them because it's a symbol of who they are, and they wear it throughout their lives. Now, tribal men and women are not just loyal to their cultures, they're also loyal to themselves, to each other. They are deeply loyal to each other. We see this illustrated in the skin carvings of the Maori people of New Zealand. These permanent tattoos that they wear are their way of showing their deep-rooted respect and commitment to their people. You see how every one of them is so connected to the other members of their tribe, and yet they shine in their individuality. They are living proof that we can be dependent on others and independent all at once. The lesson that we can take away from these people is that we were never meant to be alone in our journeys through life, and that our sense of judgment was supposed to keep us away from people who could hurt us, not away from everybody. We have to remember that with all our independence and with everything that we can achieve on our own, we can achieve more with other people holding us up. And we mustn't forget that. Now, I'm not saying that we should respect other people blindly or that we should just respect ourselves. The key to integrating ourselves with our world is finding the balance between them. You are all beautiful people, and I hope you find the place where you belong. Thank you.